The ASUS ROG Zephyrus S15 was launched in Malaysia a few months ago, but due to this whole human malware thing happening around the world, our review unit's delivery got slightly delayed. Nonetheless, we finally had the chance to really sit down, or in my case, stand up and talk about this gaming laptop. The model we received from ROG is the Zephyrus S15 GX502LXS. But first of all, the 2020 update has removed the backlit logo in favor of an all-black design. Well, RGB fanatics may not be happy with this change, but personally I think that it doesn't really matter that much. But I will be more happier if they just change this brushed aluminum lid, because it collects fingerprints like no tomorrow. Nonetheless, you also get this AAS cooling system, because whenever you open up the lid, it will mechanically open up this bottom chassis to allow more air intake. Overall, this moving panel does compromise a little bit of the durability, but after using it for about like a month now, we are pretty confident with the material and build quality. The keyboard and wrist rest panel has this sandy finish to it, which is both sturdy and feels great to touch. As for the keyboard, I appreciate that they stick to this current design. It has large key surface for accurate touch typing, and even though the underneath it is just a regular membrane switch, the overall typing and gaming experience has been very positive so far. It has per key RGB backlit, and it can be configured in either Armoury Crate or Aura Creator. One thing I find it weird is that why they still don't change the top function row, the F1 to F12 letter to make it transparent. Nonetheless, moving on to the touchpad, it uses the Microsoft Precision Touchpad driver, and the glass surface provides a good tracking and gesture experience. Port selection is very generous. Let's look at the left hand side here. We have this single barrel charging port, Gigabit Ethernet, full-size HDMI, USB 3.2, Gen 2 port, 10 gigabit, and individual ports for microphone and headphone. At the right hand side over here, we have this Thunderbolt 3, USB Type-C port, and as well as extra 2 USB 3.2 Gen 1, 5 gigabit port. At the back, unfortunately, because of this kind of design, because of this hinge and this AAS, they can't put anything over here, unfortunately. So that's a compromise. Now, the key highlight of this new generation of Zephyrus S15 is this display. This is a crazy fast 300Hz display, which was first showcased last year at IFA 2019. ROG has been like the first one to introduce 120Hz, 144Hz, 240Hz display, and for sure they want to be the first in the market to release 300Hz display panel, and boy sure they did. 300Hz and 3 millisecond response time with overdrive mode enabled. If you're coming from a regular monitor that only experience up to like 60 or 144Hz, your gaming experience on this laptop will be phenomenal. In-game visuals are buttery smooth. It helps you to track and aim more easily. That said, yes, definitely if you use a faster display, it will help you to improve your awareness in the game. However, whether if I can actually respond to it and shoot accurately, that is a totally different story. One thing I wanted to point out is that if I put this panel side by side with another 240Hz panel, well, honestly, I just can't tell them apart. They felt almost the same, and I'm sure all the minuscule movement in-game are still trackable on either display. You see, I'm not a professional gamer who is extremely critical with their display and peripheral choices. Professionals, they all have their own preferences because they literally need to stare at the screen for hours because that's their job. Now, that makes me wonder, we got all this like 300Hz crazy numbers on the spec sheet. Are we actually benefit from it as a general consumer, or, well, have we reached the point of diminishing returns? I don't know. At CES 2020, ASUS and Nvidia has already shown off the first 360Hz monitor, and I'm pretty sure laptops will soon get the same treatment. Perhaps the future is a display that is indistinguishable from real life. Well, who knows, right? As for the color reproduction, ASUS claimed about how this NVIDIA G-Sync panel has been validated by Pantone for its 100% sRGB color gamut. For gaming laptop, this is more than enough for occasional color work. Besides, I don't really think there is a need to offer an additional SKU with higher end color accuracy panel because this S15 was made for gamers. Otherwise, if you want to do color work, you might as well go for Studio Book Pro lineup. From an IPS high refresh panel, it has good viewing angle and, well, the brightness somehow suffers maybe because of the high refresh rate. But if you want to use this indoor, definitely no problem. Otherwise, if you want to bring it outside cafe, if you usually prefer to sit outdoors, maybe you need to push the maximum brightness to it. In order to save battery life, the laptop will automatically switch to 60Hz when you unplug it from the mains. In order to fully utilize this fast display, the components need to have the ability to push out decent frame rates to match. The review sample we received from ROG is the LXS SKU, where it comes with Intel Core i7-10875H and NVIDIA GeForce RTX 2080 Super Max-Q. That goes without saying, I'm not disappointed with the performance. Most of the games can achieve more than 120 FPS at maximum graphical settings. Just that some of the games such as Assassin's Creed Odyssey still struggles to perform. Well, who knows, right? The ROG Armoury Crate has 3 different performance profiles available: Silent, Performance, and Turbo. Keep in mind that Silent mode will reduce your laptop's gaming performance by up to 40%. That goes without saying because it has fairly aggressive power and fan profile in order to increase the battery life and reduce the fan noise. The Zephyrus S15 has an exceptional thermal performance. When ROG first announced that they will be using Thermal Grizzly conductonaut liquid metal thermal compound for all their upcoming 10th generation Intel CPUs, well, I'm both happy and worried at the same time. I'm happy because ROG has once again took the risk and exploring ways to improve the thermal performance. On the other hand, I'm worried because user serviceability is something to worry about because liquid metal is troublesome to deal with. Still, judging from the numbers, I am impressed. Out of all the games we have tested, only Apex Legends managed to push the CPU to the maximum of 98 degrees. Most of the games runs at the average CPU temperature of 80 degrees. Comparing with the ILLEGEAR ONYX G, which also has the same CPU, that laptop is using Thermal Grizzly Cryonaut high performance thermal paste. The ROG is still 5 degrees cooler on average. So, all the components you have inside, what kind of stuff you can still upgrade, right? Well, thermal compound aside, the rest of the components such as RAM and storage and the Wi-Fi card still can be easily serviced by end consumer. The factory's default configuration of 16GB of RAM and dual 512GB of SSD in RAID 0 is pretty much sufficient for your need already, unless you plan to double the spec, let's say double 1TB RAID 0. Right. As for the battery life of the Zephyrus S15, we are pretty impressed because a single full charge of this 76 Wh battery can last for about 5 to 6 hours of regular usage, including Chrome internet browsing, YouTubing, some light photoshopping, not a lot, and including the writing of this review script. Now that is of course achieved through the automatic refresh rate switching to 60Hz. If you were to use this laptop on battery for gaming, the RTX 2080 Super Max-Q as well as the 300Hz display will definitely destroy the battery in less than 1 hour and a half. As for the charging, ASUS actually has provided 2 different adapters for you. This is for your regular charging, like uses this barrel charging port. It has 240 watt charging capabilities so that you can actually push all your components in this laptop for your maximum kind of performance. That's the thing. Meanwhile, this one is interestingly, first time ever they actually included a smaller charging brick, 65 watt charging. Why? Because this laptop actually supports USB PD charging. So they actually allow you to bring this, because this is smaller, obviously you can bring it around in your bag. So at least you don't have to carry this around if you don't plan to game on the go. And leave this at home, put this in your bag, and you don't have to worry about battery life anymore. So after using the Zephyrus S15 for about a month now, I can safely say that ROG has done a great job. The performance is exceptional, and most importantly, its remarkable thermal capabilities, thanks to the liquid metal thermal compound. The fan noise in turbo mode can be annoying, but if you game with a headphone on, that shouldn't be a problem for you. This configuration comes at the hefty price tag of $2,999 US or 15,499 ringgit Malaysia. That goes without saying, at this budget range, there are quite a number of competitors out there in the market, including the Aorus 15G, Alienware M17 R2. If you're interested about that, maybe check out our review right here. MSI GX66 Stealth and MSI GE75 Raider are also a very strong competitor at this price range. Now, if we just put them aside, competitors, forget about it. Let's just take a look at another Zephyrus S15, the GX502LXS SKU, which comes with NVIDIA GeForce RTX 2070 Super and slightly lower RAM, 16GB. The price is considerably lower at $2,399 US or 10,999 ringgit Malaysia. You still get to enjoy everything that comes with this laptop, including this fancy 300Hz screen. Oh, by the way, I almost forgot about the included gaming mouse. This is the ROG Gladius 2 optical gaming mouse. I personally am using this gaming mouse at home. I really like this one. I'm glad that they actually throw in this mouse. Consider the price you're paying for this laptop. So, good accessories to come with. In short, if you're looking for a high-performance, slim gaming laptop, the Zephyrus S15 should be in your watch list. In fact, I will strongly suggest the 2070 variant because that is 4,500 ringgit cheaper than this model. So, that's all I want to say about the new 2020 Zephyrus S15. Do let us know what do you guys think about this laptop, or if you have any questions, leave them down in the comment section below. We will try to answer them whenever we can, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Oh, by the way, this is a kind of old shirt. Still, yeah, I like this.